Hey, TikTok. Hello, welcome. How are we going today? Thanks for the likes. All right, so today I'm finishing this poopy cat. Or finishing sewing the poopy cat. And got a couple of other dolls to work on, so we'll see how we go. We'll finish sewing this one. But we've got poopy cat face just here. But I've sewn everything else up. We've just got to sew the tail on. And then this is the previous one that I just finished. So hopefully we can get this done pretty quickly, this last little tail bit. So that would be nice, wouldn't it? I'm going to have to put in some polyfill in this tail. So just sew this bit up and then I'll stuff some polyfill in it. It's going to be on the thicker end. Thanks for the follow and the likes. Thanks, guys. Okay. Okay, so anyone that's new here, I am an art doll artist. I make art dolls or fake taxidermy pieces. Working on a few cats at the moment. So I just finished my Zoomies Pose Burmese cat. Thanks for the follow. And I'm working on 3 cats. This one is the pooping cat, complete with poop prop. And the other one is a yawning cat. So I'm just sort of finishing sewing up this last one. So these will be finished probably in the next week or 2. So that'd be cool. It's my first batch of, I call them action cats. So just a bit of a silly series. I normally do like fake taxidermy pieces of realistic animals, but these ones are just a bit silly. So the tail for this one, I'm going to be adding a bit of polyfill to it. So polyfill is like a cushion stuffing, because this tail is just a little bit thicker than your regular tail. Okay. Right, so here's a little look. Here's a little look at the poopy cat. Someone keeps inviting me to co-host. Go away. Poor kitty looks scared. This is poopy cat. That's the face. It's supposed to be Zoomies position. So let's let a look. I just finished this one the other day too. So I take some photos and pose it and whatnot with it in like a Zoomies position. Hey Lily, how are you? You're subscribed and love my work. Oh, thank you. Thanks. You need it. Oh, come on. Why? It's fakeodermy. It's not real. I don't use I don't use any animal products here, so it's all fake. It's mainly just polymer clay and fake fur. You want to start making, what's my biggest tip? Just practice. I know it's a boring tip, but just practice. Honestly, practice makes perfect sometimes. But yeah, I've got heaps of videos that you can watch. Pretty much do a video for every doll that I've done. So yeah, just practice, try some different techniques, find some materials that you like using. Start off with like something basic as well, so don't go too complex with the subject, I guess. Could do something like a dog or a cat. They're pretty simple. But yeah, just a lot of trial and error. You bought wire for the shape of the body. I used to use wire. I use ball and socket armature now, which is a bit more expensive, but yeah, I definitely used to use wire. The thing with wire is the more you bend it, the more fragile it sort of gets, so it can snap. So that's just something to keep in mind. But I mean, it's a good start. Like the ball and socket armatures are quite expensive, so you know, scare the shit out of me. You would definitely buy one at a market. I did apply for the Oddities Expo, but I don't think I got a vendor spot, so. But that's a look. Chocolate Burmese. Thanks for the like. It's not enough. Hey, Insane Rats. How are you? Thanks for the follow. Can you do a river otter? It's your favorite animal? I definitely eventually get to an otter, but I also do take commissions if you like absolutely wanted one. But I will get to an otter eventually. We'll get there. All right, let's wrangle this cat. Bit of a precarious position at the moment. All right, so my thread wasn't quite long enough, so I've got to do another piece of thread. So it's tied on. I always like to see otters a little better. I think they've got like a cuter face. I mean, they're both cute, right? Definitely get there. I've got a couple of things planned out before I get to an otter, but we will. It'll be eventually. All right, so we're going to attach the tail to the main body piece. This tail is going to be a bit thicker as well, so. What's happening? What's happening? My cat's tail fell off, so I'm just putting it back on. It's very patient, kitty. No, I make art dolls, so doing a couple of different types of art dolls, cat art dolls. So I'm just doing the last bit of sewing on this one, which is a tail. So it's kind of like fake taxidermy pieces. Thanks for the share and the follow. There was that one TikTok video where someone's cat's tail fell off. That was weird. Don't know if anyone saw that. So we got you have a hard time getting wire legs to stick to the wire body. Probably epoxy. Try epoxy. Otherwise, you'll definitely have a hard time adhering that. But yeah, try epoxy. You need something that will, cure pretty hard. It's got a knot, of course. Thanks for the follow. What is this piece? Oh, I don't know what. Just going to do this. Hey, Lynn, how you going? All right. Do you like AFL? No, I don't. I don't at all. I have a big dislike of AFL, actually. Sorry. Is it hard? Not for me anymore, but if you're starting out, definitely. There's a lot to learn. It's very time consuming. But yeah, I've been doing this for like 13 years now, so I'm sort of got a good process going on, so I can, I know how to do things now. But it was, hard when you're first starting out. Definitely. You love art? Me too. Art's underrated. I think. This thread's throwing me off. All right. Thanks for the likes. Almost done. Almost done. So I like to tie this bit off because it has a little bit of tension in it because that's where you pose the tail basically. So I like to just tie it off to make sure the stitch is nice and secure. It's a bit slow on the tiki-tok today. Your favourite art is the direwolf or the Stella sea lion? Yeah, that was a big doll, that one. The sea lion. I'd like to do another direwolf, but we'll do it eventually. Maybe in like the next batch. Maybe. Oh, thank you. Thanks for the heart, me. All right. the last little bit here. I'm just about to do the daily. Oh, thank you. Thanks, mate. Okay, so this is where we started. Just like to check for any holes. I think we're good. All right, let's tie this off. Let's not make knots. Not make knots. What's my biggest art doll? I made a few Demiguise dolls not too long ago. I made 3 of them actually. They were commissions. They're basically the size of a toddler, so they're quite big. And I also made a really big Drogon from Game of Thrones, which I'm going to revisit the body on that one because I did it quite a few years ago now. So I want to revisit the armature, like the whole structure and stuff, so I can fix it up and make it better. So I think I'll revisit that in the next couple of months, I'd say. I'll pull it all apart and then redo the armature, redo the whole body, just redo everything on it. I'll probably leave the wings intact because they're pretty good. But yeah, I'm going to pull it all apart and then redo the body on it. All right, one last tie off. So you can actually see how big it is. I think it's 130, 128 scale? 128 scale, I think, so it's quite big. So yeah, probably. There's like another doll that I haven't finished. I started years ago and I haven't finished it. So I'd like to do that eventually as well. All right. Yeah, poopy cat. Poopy cat face. We've got poopy cat face. All right, I think we can go ahead and start gluing all these pieces together now. So just sort of trying to blend where I've stitched pieces together. So I want to blend all the hair out. So when I trim it, it's not going to be like such an obvious seam line. Okay. Looking good though. Sometimes you get some stray fur. But yeah, once I'm going to trim all of this off so that it's going to be nice and short. You thought it was a real cat for a moment. Poopy. Not real. It's all fake, so it's polymer clay. Same as this one, so I just finished this one. I've just attached the fur on the face and given it some colour. So, yeah, part of my action cat. So we're just about ready to glue this one together. Oh. I can give you a proper look at this is based on a Burmese, chocolate Burmese. So that's a little look. Oh, it gets up your nose, this fur, I have to tell you. Thanks for the likes. So this one's quite thick, this one, so hopefully it doesn't look too weird when I trim it. Should be fine. Just under the neck here. So I also did a neck piece on there. It's so cute. Oh, thank you. I make other things, not just cats. Okay, now I'm going to glue all these pieces together now. So basically pooping cat will be like that with the pooping tail. Alright, so I'm going to use some fabric glue. I'm wondering if I should just restart this live actually, because it's not doing too great. I'm going to restart this live. Alright. Okay. That should be good. Hey TikTok, welcome back. Other live wasn't doing very well. Sometimes it gets fed out and then sometimes it just doesn't. just gluing. I think there's something wrong with the count today. I don't know, it's weird. Anyway. Right. Leave that to dry overnight, I think. All right, Poopy Cat. Here's my Poopy Cat. So I just glued it. I'll leave it to dry overnight. But that one is ready for fur. Oops. All right. So here's our Poopy Cat. I'm going to leave that glue to dry. This is my yawning one. Thank you for the follow. So this one is a little bit more tricky because I don't want to do that. Okay, so pin this here, and then I want to do this and glue that. But Oh, this live is shit too. Actually, both of them are. Alright, so put some glue in there. I'm going to have to restart this live too. Not doing too well. The cat jump scared me. I'm pretty sure it could see your thoughts. That's it. Thanks for the follow. Cats can do anything. Thanks for the follow. Alright. So this one's a little bit tricky because the fur is quite hard to work with, so doing a little bit of a different technique. Okay, let's clean that off. sort of doing the under chin area here. I'm gonna trim a bit of that off. Okay. Just gonna put this bit down a little bit. Right, leave that to dry. Just gonna pin this down here, this corner. While it dries. So this one's a yawning cat. All right, let that dry. All right, let's do the Gila Monster. So I'm going to let this little chin piece dry under here. And then when it's dry, I can sew up this little bit here. So it's a bit more integrated. With smaller, shorter faux furs, they're a little bit harder to blend in. So hopefully by sewing this bit in, it'll blend in a bit better. That's what we've got so far. Gila Monster. Cut this edge off because it's all frayed and it's the end of the roll, so we don't want that bit. We don't want that yucky bit. All right. Now, for the Gila Monster. Pin this together and I can better refine it. once I trim it. Let's pin it there. This really small legs are a little bit harder to manage. But let's pin it. All right. And then I'm going to give myself a bit of allowance here so I can trim it a bit better once it's been chopped off. Okay. Spin that. Thank you for the follow. All right, so I'm going to all this needs to trim. This is color changing fabric too. So I originally got it for a chameleon. That's why they're two different colors, because it's color changing fabric. But I'm going to hand paint this anyway. So it didn't really work out the way I wanted it to for the chameleon. But the chameleon that we have in the background here, this is what it was originally for. But yeah, it didn't really work out that way. So that's why one's this color and one's that. So it's a bit warmer. All right, so we're going to trim this here. So I don't mind if, like, the top of the joint here has a bit of wrinkling, because it kind of looks like skin then. But I don't want too much excess on there. All right. I'm not going to trim too much more off. Maybe just a little bit here. I'm going to give myself a little bit of leeway. Some seam allowance, but not too much. So that's sort of what we're going to have for that one. I'm going to pin the top, keep that in place. So that's sort of what it looks like before we sew it. And then I'm going to sew it and try to follow the seam line that I have. And then I'm going to hide these seam lines with the scale work that I'm going to do. It's going to be painted black and orange as well. So next part. So a little bit of seam allowance. Going to pin that. Pin this together like so. And then just going to trim really roughly, and then I can refine it a bit better. Really need some new scissors. I'm going to pin this down a bit further. It's not pin my finger. Right. Okay. Let's do this. I should just cut a side out like that, right? Let's just cut out a few sizes of that rough size, just to make it easier. Hopefully that's enough for the back legs. Plenty. Too much. Much too much. Okay. Cut out another piece. Okay. Now, let's pin this together. I'm not too concerned about having too much overhang, because when you use a lattice stitch, it sort of curls in on itself. What's happening? I don't know. I make art dolls basically, so I'm making a Gila monster so far. Just finished this guy. Thanks for follows, guys. Just finished this little one, which is a Zoomies Burmese cat, chocolate cat. So that's on display, just to freak you guys out. But yeah, we're working on a Gila monster here, so I'm just doing the fabric for the legs here. So we want this excess. We'll pull it pretty tight. Gila wants us to have little legs. Little legs. So can I just trim this a little? And trim this a little too. Thanks for the likes. Alright, so that is another leg. Now, I'm going to pin, keep that in place. like to be as neat as possible. Just way too much excess. I'm just going to chop it off. Okay. I think that's okay. Are you making a Gila monster? Yeah. How'd you know? That's sort of what it looks like so far, is the head. A glass eyes. I haven't finished the most of it, really. But yeah, here's the little, I guess, venom glands here. So I'm going to do the skin pretty much like I've done the chameleon. So that's all the texture. So I'm going to do the same thing for this guy. And then paint it black and orange. I'm just going to go with the flow for the colour. But yeah, Gila monster. Why not? Never seen a Gila monster art doll before, so that's it. And they're cool. Aren't they cool? Ducky. Ducky like Land Before Time ducky. Oh, thank you. All right. And then I try to line up the seam lines with the rest of the seam lines. Okay. Is he going to be a bit plush? The Gila monster. So it'll stay sort of squishy like this. So the chameleon that I use the same fabric. I'm doing the same technique basically. So yeah, still squishy, still posable, you know. It's got an armature inside, so yes, you can pose them. But yeah, that's the next chameleon I do. I want to do color changing, so I might do like a heat color change. I have to find some pigments for that though, you know. You love art dolls and Gila monsters. Oh, cool. Thanks for following. Yeah, so I'm thinking of the next chameleon I do. Do I do customs? Yes. Salamander. This is a Gila monster. I do commissions. I just finished a leopard seal commission. I don't know if you can see it. It's in the background somewhere. I just did some photos and stuff for it not too long ago. But yes, I want my new kitten done and my other cat. If you're interested, send me a message. I have a link in my bio to my everything, but I don't want to say the word because I get restrictions every time, but yeah. In your commissions at a moment, no problem. Just shoot me a message. Shoot me a message with your idea. I can give you a price. And yeah, I do offer payment plans too, because they can be a bit pricey depending on what you're getting. But yes, I try and be pretty flexible with all that. But I've done heaps of people's pets before. Can I create a dino creature? I don't see why not. I'm pretty confident in making pretty much anything apart from people. at the moment. Not my forte, people. I've done quite a few dragons before. That's the leg. Do they have names like the leopard in the back? I used to give them names, but I sort of dropped off doing it. I did do a couple of medieval cats recently, which I gave them names because you have to. So they were called Sir Claude, like Claude, Clawed, Madame Tippy-Toes, and Duke of Whiskers. So a bit silly names, but I had to name them. I'm just going to chop this end off. You love them? Oh, thank you. Is this a Labubu? Hey, man, I don't know how Labubus are fetching more than the cost of makes my artdolls. Are they durable? They're pretty durable. I mean, the head is made from polymer clay, so they're not completely, shatterproof. Thinner things like the ears, obviously, if you drop it on there, they'll break, but they're pretty, they're pretty. I try to make them as durable as possible. So, they're cuddly. They've got an armature inside it, so you can, pose it around in different places. But, they are soft sculptures, so they can be. You just got to treat them with respect, basically. How did you learn? A lot of trial and error. I've been doing this for a long time, so it's taking a number of years to get to the spot that I'm at. There wasn't any tutorials when I first started, so I'm completely self-taught. The hot glue gun? Nah, not the hot glue gun. Hot glue isn't durable enough, to say the least. I don't like using it. Hey, Brandon, you just watched my Red Panda art doll. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I did like that one. That one turned out pretty good. Had the movable jaw and everything. Yeah, it's not bad. Turned out bigger than I wanted it to be, but everything I make with the movable jaw always ends up bigger, so I should have known. Snow leopard. That's just a jaguar, that one. Not quite a snow leopard. I did do a snow leopard before, though. But I did a black jaguar and that coloured jaguar. So the black jaguar's been sold, but that one's still looking for a home. So I did all the airbrushing on that one. I've pretty much done most of the big cats. I've just got the lions left to do, which I'm working on at the moment. I've got 6 more dolls on the go. But yeah, I'm doing a male and a female lion. So I'm doing 2 at a time for that because we got to get the differences right. Do you do dogs? Yes, I've done a few dogs. Thanks for follow. I've done a few dogs in my time. The most recent one I did was a pug, like a life-size pug for someone. They had a pug as a pet. So I've done a few different types of dogs before. Okay. So we've got the legs set up for the Gila monster. You were here a few days ago. Welcome back. Hey. How do you do floppy ears? Usually for their floppy, I do them out of clay. You love this more now. Sorry, I'll do it out of fabric. Thanks for the follow. Sorry, bouncing around a little bit. Yeah, do it out of fabric so they're, a bit more floppy and durable. Thanks for the follow. Thanks, God. So, yeah, but I generally do it out of clay, but I did a Siberian tiger a while ago and it had movable ears. So I just put like a wire armature in it and used fabric so I could pose them. I mean, there's all these sorts of different ways to do ears, but yeah, I've done rabbits that had floppy ears that I did out of fabric. But yeah, that's sort of how I would go about that. Okay. So I'm going to sew these little legs on, and then the last sewing piece for this one is a tail, and they've got like kind of stubby little tails, and the thread's going to get caught on the fingers the whole time, I can tell. Yeah, I'm trying to include a reptile in each like batch that I do, because I've neglected reptiles. I did a snake not long ago. I'll do a couple more snakes. I want to do a rattlesnake. So I'm trying to work out a good way to do the rattle sound. Yeah, I ship worldwide. Yep, worldwide. Got dolls all over the place, which is nice. It's nice to know. I've shipped a few to New Zealand before. I did a commission for someone not that long ago. They commissioned it's a character out of a game. It's like a half raven, half robotic thing. So I just shipped that off there not too long ago. That was an interesting commission, that one. All right. These legs are going to be a pain in the butt. So cotton fabric isn't the most forgivable fabric, so the sewing takes a little bit longer on this. It's cold here too. The cat's judging. It's supposed to be zoomies, but everyone thinks it's a judgmental cat, or it's seen some things. Maybe both. So the stitch work, I have to be quite small on this. It just keeps getting caught on the toes, which is annoying. So if I don't want wrinkling in it, I'm going to actually trim this a little bit. So thanks for the follow. Can you do a tutorial on how to make a simple floppy-eared dog? I have heaps of tutorials in my YouTube. I pretty much do a video for every doll that I've made for the last 10 years. So I've got heaps of tutorial videos on my YouTube. I've also got like little tips and stuff. Have I made horses? I have made unicorns, but no one's ever wanted a horse before, so horses were always low on my priority list, but I've done unicorns before. But yeah, nobody's ever wanted a horse. But I wanted to, if I was going to make a horse, I was going to do a leopard Appaloosa. Thanks for the follow. A leopard Appaloosa. I think they're pretty cool. But yeah, there's just never been high on my to-do list, and nobody's ever wanted their horse done. You're cool, I'm taking it. Thanks. Make sure you feed them water. Feed, water, keep safe. I have my Palomino. Ah, yeah, right. I'm not super knowledgeable about horses. I have to say. He's called Jesse? Cute. I feel like that's a really common name for a horse. I feel like I've heard a horse called Jesse before. What colour? Oh, they're beige with white mane. Oh, nice. That's a nice colour. You can see I'm not knowledgeable on horse horse lingo. People are really into their horses, though. I know that much. He's your baby. That's cute. I think I've only ridden a horse like 3 or 4 times. One of them farted and did a poo. Naturally. That's how it goes, isn't it? I'll never forget. It was when I was a kid too. I'll never forget. Maybe they were just so relaxed. Just felt comfortable enough around me. Thanks for the likes. It always takes like an hour for the live to get going. What's up with that? It's never like straight off the bat. Thanks for the follow. Now, just checking. Just judging, general judginess. General judginess. You know how they are. You know how they are. Thanks for the share. It's supposed to be a Zoomies cat, but it doesn't seem to be given the Zoomies vibe. Thanks for the follow. Oh, come on. Horrific? That's not the word. Try again. Hello, mate. Horrific. Try again. Say something nicer. Can hear you. Andy zoomies. Maybe it's all about the pose. Cat has feelings too, right? Maybe if I posed it in a different way. So it's meant to be like a pose. Zoomies. I'm going to try and take some photos of zoomies like that. You know. You wait till I do stop motions. Thanks. It's based on a chocolate Burmese. You wait till I do stop motions. I bet you they'll turn out like crap. Hunger and anger. Despair. Yes, it's fully posable. So, fully posable. Move its tail. You can do like side. You know how they do the side tail. Yes, totally fully posable. So. See? I'm getting there. It takes time. It's on the list. Next batch. It's on the list for the next batch. Trust me. It just takes time to finish everything. I have to dig around for some fur though, for that one, for some fake fur that looks like it. I have to do a bit of his back even turned, you know. It's all fully posable, so I'm trying to pose it. You pose it in different sort of ways, you know. You can fluff its fur up, all that stuff. It's functional. It's the eyes. Zoomies. Well, if it's any consolation, I have 2 other ones here, if that would make you feel better. You went to the pool today? Nice one. It's freezing here, so. No pool here. Can I interest you in this one then? It's on the total opposite end of the spectrum. You don't know how to swim? You're doing lessons. So this one I've just glued, so it's drying at the moment. That one's a pooping cat. And this one is a Gila monster. So I'm doing the legs for the Gila monster. So I don't know if you can get a better look on this side. So yeah, sculpted all the face and stuff. So I'm just doing the legs at the moment. I'm a terrible swimmer. I'm a terrible swimmer. I know how to swim, I'm just not very good at it. You just got to do some lessons, you'll learn. You definitely need to know how to swim. So how do you catch all the seals for their fur? You know, they just come. Got like this whistle, and I just stand on the edge of the cliff and do a whistle, blow the whistle, and then they just kind of flop out. I don't really have to do much. I didn't even have to get wet. Is that weird? That's the first thing. Is that weird that the first thing that comes to my head? This foot is like the biggest problem. It just keeps getting in the way. No way around it. Thanks for the follow. All right, back on track now. Nope, went around. Nope, just as I said that. Nope. Again. This foot. Okay, that looks good. Nice cat. Dog father. Good dog guy. You a dog person. Thank you though. Thanks for the likes. Yikes. This needs. Nice cat. I keep the stitches quite small in this because I've got to keep the seam line pretty neat. So, very time consuming reptiles. So if you do stitches that are too big, the fabric tends to pucker a little bit. We don't want that. To ask what's going on. Well, you know, the skin fell off these animals, so just need to put it back on. No, I make art dolls. So these ones, they're fake taxidermy pieces. So I'm just sewing up the fake skin, let's say. No, not taxidermy. No, I couldn't work with taxidermy. I had a taxidermy video come up yesterday of someone putting the skin on a form, and I was like, no, No thanks. Can you do a Australasian swamp hen? I can do any animal. I can do any animal. So they're putting the skin of a vulture on. Is that kitty stuffed? It's not real. They're putting the skin of a vulture on like the form, and they were just like rolling it over. I was like, ooh. I couldn't. I mean, it's a pretty tiny kitty if it was real, right? You love it. Oh, yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? It's not bad. The green. Yeah, I like it. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, I've got 3 cats on the go. I've got 6 dolls on the go, actually, but 3 cats for like a mini series. Hello. Hi, Scars. How are you? You too. Thanks for stopping by. How you doing, you legend? I'm alright, mate. Powerade bongs. Come on, man. That's straight from the early thousands. Thanks for the follow. Trying to get... Do you use garden hose? The green garden hose. $10 for a roll at Bunnings. What am I making? I'm making a Gila monster. They're just doing the legs on this. Enjoy the finer things. Upgraded to PVC pipe. Proper setup. Oh, there you go. I don't smoke. I never... I don't know. I'm not into that, so... Just making a bad joke. Alright. Thanks for the likes. Alright, let's see how we're going. Took all that time to sew that tiny little strip. All right, so I'm going to try and line that up with the other seam line here. All right, so I'm going to tie this off. All right, that's as far as I got on that one. Exciting. Anyway, YouTube. YouTube, I'm going to. That's all I've got for today, basically. I'll be on again tomorrow. YouTube, I'll catch up